Welcome back to our Coach Jason Reuter Coaches Show here on the BCHS Bear Network. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey, being joined today by Coach Reuter and a couple of special guests, a couple of our seniors. And I think we'll have all the seniors after these two young ladies here. And if you want to introduce them, Coach, I'll let you just tell us who they are. Then I'll start with you first, though, after we talk.
Yeah, this is Kelsey Carmen right here to my left, and Ashton Estrada to her left. These are two of our four seniors, and we had Anna Mahone and Jemiah Williams on here last week, so we got the other two, and two great representatives of Bradley Central High School, not just Bearettes, but two great students and two great young ladies, and proud to be sitting up here with them this morning.
Well, and a good thing, congratulations to both of you having signed some college scholarships. It's always nice when they're going to pay for your education. So obviously someone recognizes your talent and your skills and your character and personality, because that's a big part of that. And we'll get in conversation with both of you ladies here in a minute. But Coach, since we last met, we played Cleveland last Tuesday, and or last Thursday, I guess it was, since our last show was Thursday. And you've played everybody now in the district at least one time, going to the second cycle, and it begins tonight. We got Cleveland High School coming into Jim Smith Arena here tonight. Big district matchup. Their only loss is to us, and we're still unbeaten in the district. Matter of fact, you're still ranked #1 in the state for a third or fourth consecutive week there, and you've knocked off two teams in the AAA top 10, one team in the AA top 10. So that's things that will get you recognition, and obviously the program is well respected around the state, and sports writers agree that we're one of the stronger teams. I don't know if we're #1. We don't know that. We'll find out as the season progresses, but it's nice to have the respect and recognition, though, for our program. That's what helps girls get scholarships as well, too.
Yeah, certainly. We're ranked #1. I hope we end #1. Then actually the final poll is right before the maybe before the Regions tournament is finished. The final
that
poll.
One final week here in the district, I believe.
We went into the state tournament ranked #1 and didn't win it. I think the year we won it in 19, we were ranked #3, I believe. But it's a great honor, and it shows a lot about the history of this program. There's a lot of people voting across the state. You know, you can imagine being in Memphis and voting. You haven't seen us play in person, but we got a local guy here, Joe Cannon. I'm sure that has done a good job promoting us. But you got the Chattanooga Times, and then Athens has a vote. It just goes on. I don't know how many votes there are. I'd say somewhere in the neighborhood around 20. Would you imagine?
Yeah, and any newspaper of any size who's an AP news subscriber is in that voting. It's AP Sports Writers, and Joe locally, and he's told me in the past that they on Sunday afternoon they talk and contact each other and send messages out about the programs that they're covering. And he covers all the Southeast Tennessees like the Chattanooga groups do, and then you got some in Knoxville and Tri-Cities and Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, so people are lobbying for their region a little bit, and we're not in a small town, but we're not in a big metropolitan area either. So we're very humbled, but we know that like I said, that just means you got a bigger bullseye on your back, and we just want to play one game at a time. Like I told you last week, these girls know what I'm worried about. What am I worried about next, Kelsey?
Just us in Cleveland.
Just us in Cleveland tonight, right?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
That's all I'm worried about. So
good answer.
One at a time.
Correct answer. You get an A+ for that one there. Well, looking at your team right now, we're 2/3 of the way through the season, I guess, if you count the early part of the season. Is the team where you need them to be and expect them to be, or you've told us before, we can't improve this much from day to day or week to week, whatever. We can practice. Good teams improve a little bit at a time. Are you seeing that improvement, and what would you like to see more of from the girls?
We're making some progress. We're not where we need to be, but most teams are not. There's a fourth of the state who's never been shut down at all, and there's a one half that's had some type of mitigation. And I don't know, when you count all the teams in Memphis and Nashville, they may be 1/4 of the state that's not played. I don't know how many schools are exactly in Memphis and Nashville, but we know the metropolitan area is super large. So those schools have not played the first game unless you're a private school. So
right.
It is what it is. We've got to keep improving. We've got to, our point average has to keep increasing, which it has. You know, last time we played Cleveland Thursday night, it was a little bit of a low-scoring game. Some people might call it a defensive battle. They know us pretty well. We know them pretty well. Neither team shot lights out. So I'm expecting a few more points tonight. But we're making small strides, and these girls have heard it 1,000 times. The great ones figure out you get better a little bit at a time, as you've already repeated. And as long as we're going this direction, I don't care if it's by an inch, as long as we're staying focused and we don't get caught up in the what am I getting, well, how many minutes am I getting, how many points am I scoring, as long as we put the team in front, then this thing, I think, we will have no regrets at the end, and we'll just see how things unfold, one game at a time.
Well, at this time of year, having gone through all the fall practices and the summer conditioning, things of that nature, are practices as long as intense now, or do you sort of back off, okay, we're in shape, I guess, you should stay in shape unless something comes along to shut you down, but do you have as long a practice, or is it pretty much consistent throughout the year, the length of practice?
No, they shorten as the year goes on. We had a pretty short practice yesterday, really. I mean, we practiced Saturday morning, so they were off from 1 o'clock. We left the weight room, and they were off until yesterday, off Sunday, and so we hit the floor about 4:15, 4:20 yesterday, and went for about an hour and a half, and because that's not continuous running, there's some. I've learned to talk less in practice.
Really?
You teach them bullet points. You want to teach them bullet points.
Yeah.
We live in a society, kids are, it's quick, it's messages, it's text message. So I do a lot of talking in film session, watching our opponent. But when we step on the floor, these kids, we have routines that we do. Some things we do every practice, and there's some things we switch around. But yesterday we had to stop a few times and talk about what Cleveland might do watching film, and I'm sure that Cleveland is doing the same thing for us. I've learned this. There's been more, I read this years ago, there's more gold medals lost from overtraining than undertraining. So I guess what I'm saying, that if we get down to this point, it would not done us any good to scrimmage for an hour yesterday. These legs need to be fresh. When the legs go, what happens to the shot, Kelsey?
It's short.
It's short. So I want them fresh. I want them hungry. But you have to maintain. You have to maintain during the year. But look, further we go, they get shorter. And
that's by design.
and look, you don't want to get. It's this. These kids, they give their sweat and sometimes blood for this program, from skint knees to elbows to pup knots to busted noses. You want to keep it as fresh, and you don't want to get, I don't care who you are, you don't want to get burnt out. And if you're not careful, you just get into a mundane cycle. I know you're saying, you're over here, you're chopping, you're ready to announce this game tonight. You got the #1 team in the state playing what would be one of the biggest crowds in Tennessee if we weren't mitigated. But this is not just another game, it's Cleveland. But this is a long season, and we have to be careful as coaches to keep it to keep from the boredom or the routine that's just setting in. If that makes any sense.
It does. I think you and I talked maybe last week on the air, I don't remember, that basketball's the longest season in sports in high school.
From the start of practice date to the state championship, you can look at the calendar, there's no sport, not football, not baseball, not
wrestling.
None of them go as long from the time you can practice until the end of the season. So sometimes I've got to try to find a way to keep their, it's no different than a classroom. Teachers, it's basketball, it's teaching. I mean, it's teaching. I have to motivate a little more. I'm not going to put you on the line and make you run a sprint in the classroom, but you want to keep people engaged and keep them, we put a new play in every now and then. We tweak some things. So.
I wanted to ask you, how many different offensive sets? I know you've got this sheet in your hand. You look and you'll see what the defense is doing to react to us, but how many go-to plays do you think you really have?
I would only have to guess. I mean, we probably have we probably have 15-man plays, a motion offense or man. We probably have 8 or 10 zones, so you're into 24, 25. We have 7 or 8 out-of-bounds plays. Now you got 6 or 7 sideline out-of-bounds plays. You understand where this is going up and up. We're pretty much a man-to-man defense, so that doesn't change. Some people like to mix their defenses and catch the opponent off guard. We try to keep it. If you look back in the history of the last several years, we have, I don't know, have you ever played a zone since you've been here?
No.
Unless it was in practice?
Yeah. No, I haven't played a zone the whole time.
Could we play zone? I've talked to you this before. You've got to be able to play man, and you can always go zone if you have to. But if you cannot man, if you're a zone team, and then you got a man, now you're in trouble.
You're in deep trouble. Yeah.
But so people, when they go against us, this is a negative for us. They don't have to work on their zone offense because they know Bradley's going to play man to man. But the simplicity for these girls to learn our man to man system and to get it down as close as perfect as possible, to me, is more important than playing 6 or 7 different types of zone defense.
Yeah, well, I understand that. That's good. Well, let's get the girls involved here. Kelsey, we'll start with you first. We chatted a little bit yesterday, but when did you start playing ball? How old were you, and where did you play? You know, and bring us up through elementary or wherever it was, Pee Wee League, middle school. To
Well, I started in the 2nd grade at Michigan Avenue. Mom had been coaching for a while, so I was kind of around it. Through elementary school, she was coaching at Lake Forest, so I was always just around it. But I really started in 2nd grade and then just kind of stayed with it till now. So.
Oh, okay. Middle school, where'd you go middle school? Lake Forest?
Lake Forest, yep.
And Ashton?
I went to Hopewell. I also started in the 2nd grade and then played to Ocoee and then here.
Okay, so you went to Ocoee Middle there. Tell us about your family. I'd like to find out. I know I asked you yesterday. I think you're an only child, aren't you, Kelsey?
I am. I'm the only one. My parents are Mike and Michelle Carmen. Mom teaches out at Lake Forest, so I've kind of grown up around all the sports. And
we know her quite well because she's a scorekeeper,
Yeah.
has been for the last 4 years, I guess, and we're going to miss her. Maybe we can draft her to come back next year to be the scorekeeper again. But
That's a possibility. Let's see.
she knows the game of basketball, that's for sure. It's not like some mom, just come and watch.
Don't leave your dad out.
Yeah.
Get Mike in there.
Mike, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your dad? Tell him what your dad does.
He's an engineer out in Chattanooga at Gaston, so he's
right.
always in the stands by himself.
Oh, I see him, talk to him all the time. You got a scholarship signed. I was going to ask
Yes,
you, do you
sir.
play other sports at Bradley? But obviously you do because you're going to get a volleyball scholarship. You already signed. Play
Yep.
at Covenant.
Yep, I play volleyball and basketball here, and I was actually offered both to play volleyball or basketball at Covenant. And it was a hard decision for me, but I chose volleyball to this win my last season of basketball. But
Opportunity would arise. Would you consider also playing basketball there? Is that too much to try to do in college?
it might be too much. I definitely consider it. I've gotten to know a lot of the staff up at Covenant, and I've really just loved everyone I've met. And I've even gotten really close to the basketball coaches, and they've told me, like, your offer's still on the table, so I might.
Well, there you go.
Kind of have to see.
Might open the door for you there. One of the most beautiful campuses of any college in the South.
Yes.
It is just gorgeous up there on Lookout Mountain. And people haven't been up there. Take a ride up there someday. It's the one that's got the big tower.
Yeah.
It used to be a hotel.
Yeah.
Castle Above the Clouds is what it was called, hotel back in the day. And I think that's where legend has it Liz Taylor and Eddie Fisher honeymoon there. So you can check it out and you get there and find out. I've been there on campus. I used to be a customer of mine when I was in sales, and nobody there seemed to know the answer to that because I couldn't find anybody old enough that would know that. But you can
Showing
find
your
that.
age a little
I'll find
bit.
out.
Yeah,
For you.
yeah, I'm an old guy there. Ashton, also,
Yes.
you're going to play in college. You're going to play.
I am.
You've signed a scholarship. Tell us about where you're going to be playing.
I'm going to play basketball at Bryan.
And what position do you think you'll play? Out on the wing or inside post to play a little, or
I probably, they might have me on the wing because I'm not as tall.
Yeah,
And
college is a
more
little
people
different.
have caught up to me now because
Yeah.
I was in college, now I'm not. But so I would have to work on that.
Who will be your coach there?
Jason
Smith.
Smith.
Okay.
Jason
Well,
Smith.
the good thing is too, not only in college, but you're locally, so your fans and family can be there and support you and follow you all the time there. I didn't ask you about your family.
Yes, I'm the oldest of 5. I have a brother here that is a freshman, Jaden.
You're the oldest of 5. Okay.
And then my mom is Tara Estrada and my dad's Andre Estrada.
Do any of your youngsters and younger siblings play any sports of any kind?
My little brother, he goes to Prospect and he plays basketball.
Okay. Well,
And then
maybe.
Jane, who's here, he plays football and soccer.
Okay. Well, good. We look forward to seeing him down the road there. Go ahead and ask you another question here. What do you think you'd like to study in college? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? You're going to be out there, an old woman married with kids and raising a family with 5 kids of your own, or nah, you like the
think-
single life?
I'm going to go into education because right now I'm doing student teaching at Prospect.
Oh, are you? So what level would you like to teach at? Elementary level?
Yeah, definitely younger kids.
Okay. Well, I can see why, because college, high school kids are a little more difficult to control sometimes. But Kelsey, ask you the same question about your future.
So I'm actually student teaching at Prospect as well, but I'm probably going to go more the counselor route. I'm going to major in psychology and then go ahead and get like a master's in counseling and either do like elementary or like middle grades counseling. So.
Sounds like you both sort of got some plans for what you'd like to do. Well, that's great. I've asked that question a lot of times, and I don't know. I'm not sure. And it's okay at this age. You don't have to decide right now. Who knows? When I started college, I thought I was going to go one path, and it turns out I went a completely different path. And that's the way we go sometimes. And obviously, you were at Lee, and what did you study at Lee when you were over there before they kicked you out? I mean, before you graduated. Because you had, you taught science here. You teach science. You started at Meg's teaching science, I think, didn't you?
This is the first year in my 28 years that I haven't taught any science. So
Been teaching 28 years now?
28 years, yeah. And the first 23 was only science, and I slowly moved it. I have a health and PE degree. I have a minor in biology. Mm-hmm. I also had a minor in Bible. I've got a master's in administration, but I'm not showing my credentials here. I don't know that I'm a master of anything, but I've got a lot of pieces of paper that say I'm certified.
Jack of
Sometimes
all
I wish I
trades.
didn't have these certifications, but yeah, I was a science teacher, straight on, full board, full load, 30 kids in a class for 23 years, and I slowly got into one PE class about 5 years ago, and then maybe I got 2 the next year, and this year I'm full time. We've had people resign, Liz Jackson and Kent Smith. So
retired.
I'm asked to be moved to the PE department because I'm in the gym so much, and there's things that this job entails that the academia part of it. It seems like with more technology, things would get easier. But it just actually puts another layer of work on you.
Yeah.
We're getting films now in a matter of seconds that would have took us days to get. So now I'm at a wedding in Atlanta Saturday afternoon. I had to leave after practice, and I got home at 11. I got the Farragut Cleveland film. I'm not going to bed until I watch it. So I'm watching film till 1. Mm-hmm. Of course, I could sleep in Saturday morning. And,
That's part of today's world in
Sunday
coaching,
morning.
though.
It is. It is.
Let me ask you this. Now, you coached JV boys a long time under Kent Smith at Bradley. You've coached the girls now in your 11th year. What is the biggest difference? I've never asked you that. Biggest difference between coaching boys and girls? Is it harder one way or the other, or is it, oh man, we didn't have to worry about this with boys, or I didn't have to worry about this with girls? Anything comes to mind at all?
Well, just to give you a real, without going into, we could talk for an hour about it, but just to tell you that I've been asked that question 1,000 times at least, and I say I enjoyed them both. I've been asked, do you want to go back to boys? No, I don't. I think I'll end my career coaching girls. I'll never say never.
Right.
Just like you asked Kelsey, would she consider playing basketball? There's no reason to shut a door.
Right.
Unless you have to. So I've obviously with success, that doesn't mean you don't have problems. We're having you got to raise money. You got to deal with other issues. You've got to deal with scheduling. You got to deal with conflicts.
Not a lot of difference either way.
There's not a lot on that end of it. Now,
right.
I have learned, luckily the Lord, this is how I got into girls. The good Lord gave me 2 daughters, and I started coaching Rebecca's AAU team when I think she was going into 5th grade. And I was reluctant to do it, but a couple of gentlemen who had kids the same age kept begging me, and I just gave in. And then I think the good Lord was putting me in that position, and I didn't even know it. If you reflect in life, you're put in position, and then things led, and then they asked me to take over here, and I had to be very honest. We've had a lot of success because of people like the girls on the left of me, and so that has made it very enjoyable. But with high stakes, like tonight's going to be fun, but this game means a lot.
Yeah, it sure does.
I mean, the amount of hours that we've put in for this one game would probably blow most people away. They think, you come in and get your Diet Coke and your popcorn, if they're selling popcorn this year, and you watch the game, but these girls and us have put in hours to get ready for this game. So
Sure. We expect nothing less.
these girls, I found this with girls, they've got to trust you before they'll run through that wall for you, and they've got to know that you're in it with them. They'll carry your words a little longer than a boy will, but they also may play just a little bit harder if they really think that you've got their back and you're in it with them. Come win or lose, I tell these girls all the time, if they do well, it's on them. If they don't do well, then I'm part to blame, because I'm the guy in charge of getting them ready.
You got to prepare them.
So I think when you have young ladies that believe that, I hate to say it, but they might take your instruction to heart a little more than the guys do. That's been my experience. But we've also been very successful. So if I had been over here and we'd had losing programs, then maybe I would feel
They might
different.
tune you out a little
That might
bit,
tune
too.
me out, yeah. So, but I think
Can't argue with your success.
I would not.
That's for sure.
People said, why didn't you become a head coach earlier? Well, I was with Kent. We were winning. Last couple of years, we didn't go to the state tournament, but you remember those days. We went to 5 state tournaments.
Yeah.
And
Finished run-up twice.
run up twice. I've been blessed. I've coached 6 tournaments as the head coach of the Bearettes. I've coached 5 with Kent as assistant coach. I've coached in 11 state tournaments as a assistant or head coach here. And that's not a reflection of me. That's a reflection of this school.
Not a lot of coaches can say that
Well,
around the state.
I'm just saying that that's a reflection of the kids and this program here and the expectations here. And I'm proud to have maybe just a little bit to do with it. But if I can keep getting girls like the ones to the left here, then this program will be strong.
Well, I agree with you, and future looks bright as always. But let me ask you girls one more question before we end up here. Gone through 4 years, you've seen tremendous success. One of the winningest 4 years in history of Bearettes Central. We won a state title 2 years ago, last year. We lost in the first round, didn't get to actually end the tournament over there. We ended our play there. But you've been to some great places. You went to Phoenix, Arizona, to the Nike Tournament Champion, which is probably the most prestigious girls tournament in high school in the country. Went to Florida 2 years ago, down there to Orlando or Tampa, wherever it was. Naples. And played in another big tournament down there. But is there one single moment that comes back, I don't know if it's basketball or when you're traveling, something goofy that happened that comes to mind that you're going to remember 20 years from now and say, oh, yeah, I remember we did this and this happened or whatever, that as a Bearette, that happened, that either one will admit to or can discuss here on the air?
I would definitely say that all the moments are fun. Like, we really do say that we're a family. Every time we end practice, we say that we're a family. So all the trips were really fun, but I know going out to the Grand Canyon, that was really special because that was something, I don't know if any of us had been out. I think there was maybe like a couple, like 2 or 3 that had been out there. So for a lot of us, that was like a first that
Probably
you get to share.
First flight for several of you.
Yeah, so it was like a first for like the 20 of us that got to share that together. So that was really special, and like just all the pictures on our trips and stuff just to hold on to is really special.
Okay.
That's the exact same what I was going to say.
Well,
Great.
having watched you for 4 years, when we won the state, that shot that Hannah hit, wow, it does not get any better than that for a broadcast on the air to talk about that. And,
Yeah. And Hannah was definitely one of the most selfless players.
only point she scored the whole game, 3-quarter to win it.
Yeah, best teammate that you could ever ask for. She would stand up for you in two seconds. So that was really special, and I thought it was a testament to what she did all season for that shot. And it was just, obviously that was like a great moment for us, but like celebrating together, that was a perfect ending to the season.
Well, for her, for the team, for Coach Reuter, I know, for me, and for the whole Bear Nation, everybody rejoiced when we won that because that was a long time in coming. And we'd been there, played a lot of games in state, most games that anybody's played in the entire state history of the state, winningest program in the state of Tennessee, boys or girls. So there's a lot to hang your hat on as a Bearette to be proud of, and I know you will. And you'll support us and continue to represent Bradley and coach in a great way in the future there. But
You said a big word there, Gary. I think all these memories, that's what will, in the big picture, your memories and the time you have together will be what will last.
yeah,
Trophies will be tarnished, and hopefully that state championship ring won't get lost. But I learned this: if you spend much time talking about the past and not looking towards the future, then it's not good. This team is ranked number 1. They're 13-1. We have a chance to host every district and region game at home if we take care of business. That was nice in 19, but that don't mean anything tonight. It doesn't mean anything in the next game. So that's what the message I'm preaching to these girls. That's have no regrets. We don't know what the future holds, but I can tell you, if they keep themselves ready, if they stay hungry and stay humble, we might have a chance to play for another gold ball.
yeah,
That's the picture that I'm trying to paint.
yeah.
Because that is over with, it's great, but now I'm worried about tonight.
Got to play in one game at a time, one possession at a time. You know, that's
Yes.
how you have to break it down, you know, one possession at a time. Well, Coach, I want to thank you as always for our weekly interview. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Ashton, for being with us today. Thank Mr. Schroyer and the students here who produce this in H12 studio here on the campus of Bearettes Central High School. I'd like to remind folks, still limited attendance right now due to the COVID virus, and it's only immediate members of the household of that player. I made a mistake last week, said household people, members in the same house can come in, but you have to have a player playing in that household.
Yeah.
I got to keep that in mind. High school teachers are allowed and grandparents. So we could see more folks than we've seen in the past, but we hope everyone wears a mask, everyone socially distances as they're out in public so that we can keep playing this game we all love. Because, folks, if you don't, it can shut us down anytime. We don't want that. We want to finish it out. But you can watch all of our games at home streaming. Mr. Schroyer and his group will stream it on BCHS Bear Network on Facebook, so you can watch them there. All of our home games on Mix 104.1 as well, so you can see those games, enjoy those, and watch the replays. This interview will be on BCHS Bear Network as well. So thanks again, girls. Good luck tonight. The rest of the season, Coach, we will talk to you later.
See you tonight, Gary.
Until the next time, we'll just say God bless and go Bears and Bearettes.